Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 3 between Classic and Dark. This has been recommended to me as a certified banger, so we're gonna see if it stands up to the proper certification, or if this, the banger certificate will need to be withdrawn. We have a forward hatch here, that's a good start. What do we have out of Classic? We're gonna see Stargate opener, fast oracle, standard shenanigans. No mining here on the top side, which means most likely either a triangle or also a triangle, really. So 2 triangle options here. Ooh, it's a void ray opener. Typical classic stuff. Typical classic stuff. As we see Dark here, when he's forgetting a queen. Very late second queen. It's gonna pay off for him. Because there's a void ray here. If this was an oracle, he's in serious trouble, no? Oracle flies across the map, comes in time, there's nothing in the main. What the hell? Okay, well, this is interesting, but I want to keep an eye on that in future games to see if he's actually gonna... if he never builds that. So the standard timing for a second queen in the main base is at 36 supply. He built it at 40. Yeah, it pops out at 4 minutes. It would simply be too late for an oracle that gets sent across the map instantly into the main base. There's also no spore there. I guess he spotted the void ray. Maybe otherwise he builds a spore. But yeah, interesting opener nonetheless. We have a... what the hell is this? It's a queen walk, I guess. Very fast as well. Look at that, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. We're here already. This is of course a very short rush distance map, which is why we so infrequently see this being taken as a third base here for Protoss players. Classic is going to make use of these queens being absent by killing a couple of workers. This is going to be a guaranteed cancel. It's not even going to finish this. Meanwhile though, 5 workers going down, that means 31 workers to 45. I think that Dark is more committed here than he would like to be, and perhaps than he would like to admit to himself. Classic with some serious mismicro ends up losing a void ray, which is an expensive loss. 250 minerals, 150 gas. Did not really pay for itself quite yet. I think it killed a single overlord, which is not enough. We're going to have a second starport now coming in, so Classic opting for a Tempest rush, which... do I understand that? I'm not sure if I do. I guess he's expecting a second queen wall, this time with roaches. That would be a kind of a normal thing to do here for Dark. So you go for the initial cancel, and then you go again with like 54 workers or so, and you're using that rich Vespine geyser here to really pump those Ravager numbers up. That is something that we could expect. However, it is not entirely what we're seeing out of Dark. Dark hasn't scouted the Tempest yet, but he's just building a straight Spire here. I'm expecting another gas, because so far it is a, well, technically a 5 gas, even if he only has 4 gases, but 5, because this is a double gas, it's technically 5 gases mining gas. It's gonna get Corruptors against this, and yes, the eco for Dark isn't necessarily brilliant, but it isn't brilliant either for Classic, and Classic with a honestly significant blunder here. He's going to get both of his Stargates and his Fleet Beacon and his Tempest tech scouted. And if he already was planning on building Corruptor, he now definitely is planning on building Corruptor. He's going to get a fort base as well. We're going to see pure drone on the way, because you know there's not going to be a ground threat. I wouldn't mind if some of these spores start being pushed a little bit further forward. So like spore from the natural, spore from the main. They can kind of form a circle, and they're not going to kill any Tempest. Or at least they shouldn't kill any Tempest. But they could win a little bit of time. Because it's really scary if you just have queens. Like, they do get 2 volleyed by 3 Tempests. So you gotta be quick with the transfuses, and with your micro, you gotta pull them back. Here we see 1 queen already going down. I don't really think Dark is going to take any serious damage, but he is taking a little bit of damage nonetheless. As let's not forget, Classic thinks he has way more time than he really has. This is a very fast Spire, even for a regular game. And this was not a regular game. Don't forget, they started with a queen walk. So this is out of the ordinary for sure. I think Classic believes he has like probably 30, 40 more seconds or so. At least. Yeah, now the Corruptor comes out. It's like, holy crap, that's really quick, isn't it, buddy? How many Corruptors are you gonna get? He's gonna try sniping the hatch? No way. This is neat. It's one hell of a play. It's going to lose 3 Tempests for it. Oh my god, he's gonna lose 4 Tempest for this. He misrecalls as well. A lot of mistakes coming out of Classic, who kills a hatch, 7 queens, but loses 4 Tempest, has decent eco behind this, has the rich Vespene Geyser, and is stacking into Blink, which is good against both Roaches and Corruptors. Super Battery is not going to save you. Oracle needs to piss off right away as quickly as it can. Corruptors now have the ability to go into the main base and maybe start peeing on this Nexus. I think if he does, the Nexus is just toast. I don't actually believe you can hold it. I mean, you can hold the Nexus physically in your hands, but you can't, you know, keep it alive. There's some of the debris here. Yeah, little probes walking through. It's like, oops, that's gone. Lots of gateways coming down. It's also gonna get scouted. So, yeah, this is bad for Classic. This is really bad for Classic. The only thing that's keeping him in this game is the fact that Dark hardly has any workers. Has some serious oversaturation on the 3rd base as well, where I think his natural could definitely do with a couple more drones. Once this one gets back online though, you get that rich Vespene gas mining. I'm having a difficult time seeing what Classic is planning on doing. I'm gonna get some peeing here on this Nexus as well. I'm not sure if it's necessarily gonna go down. Super Battery could be activated here. It's not gonna get activated. Alright, this one's also just gonna fall then. I think that was quite sloppy. Super Battery was available. I checked it. Oh no, never mind, it's not. That's the recall button. Right? No, that is the Super Battery. Yeah, Super Battery was available. I started gaslighting myself there a little bit. Who better to deceive you than yourself? Kevin de Koning, 2024. Good quote. It's going to be 2 Nexi building right now. Income 2k against 1200. I believe Dark's just going to max out here on Roaches and straight up win the game. Because I don't really see a viable path to winning here for Classic. I mean, he's trying to get Storm out. His eco is just so bad. It's actually sad. It saddens me how bad his eco is. And I love that he's keeping this alive. I'd love for him to go for the Templar Archives rather than the Nexus. I think the Nexus is a very understandable call, but I think the Templar Archives here would be massive, because that is the only way that you're ever going to lose by walking into Storm. I mean, this base is going to get taken out this base. Yeah, this is... Jesus. This really shouldn't have been such a one-sided game, but Dark is making this look very freaking easy. It's kind of crazy. Yes, this is a good map, of course, for Zerg, but it's not that good. So Dark's just gonna push in forward with those Roaches and Ravagers. Actually losing a lot of Ravagers, but now kills that final Oracle. There's 10 more Roaches on the way. We have a couple more running in as well. Don't forget, this is 4 base versus 2 base. Actually, never mind, it's 4 base versus 1 base. So at this point, really any trade is going to be a fine trade, and these trades have been somewhat even, which is obviously phenomenal. The only thing Dark needs to be careful of is not losing all of his larva. As long as he has larva, he can outproduce his opponent very, very easily. This is still without upgrades against a +1 army, but it simply does not matter. Roach count is significant here. There are a lot of Corruptors in the sky, but they can still go into the main base as well to maybe clear some stuff there. We have more and more Roaches coming in, and this looks a little bit close, but you just know with the reinforcements that it's legit impossible. I mean, yeah, 4 times as much money for Dark here. He takes game number 1 on Crimson Court. Let's see if Classic can make the difference. The second map on Ghost River opens up with a fast hatch block. Probe quickly across the map. Interesting wall as well. Just gonna go for... Usually what this indicates is that it's going to be a single gate 3rd base. This is not the most secure wall. It is not a very secure wall at all. But that is okay, I think. I believe that to be fine. You can... Especially if you plug this hole with a Stalker, it's kind of secure. Actually, is it? It almost feels like a 2-block wall, doesn't it? Or 2-block hole. Gonna have a Nexus come out. It's all fairly standard. Except whatever Dark is doing. Oh no, never mind. I didn't see the spawning pool. I was like, what the hell? At the screen like this, I didn't see the pool. I'm like, where is his pool? This is not standard at all. He's forgetting his pool. He has the pool down here. Well, not that far. Down here. Interesting. Double Overlord across the map as well. This is such a Dark move. It really is. The reason why this is uncommon is for 2 reasons. 1, if it is a Void Ray opener very frequently, you're going to be capable of getting 2 Overlords for free, which is great for a Void Ray man. Then there's a second thing, which is that you can't quite easily keep track of the adepts on the map. Yes, you can see how they move out. You can see how they you know, go across the map, or whether they do or whether they don't. But once they're on your side of the map, you don't have the vision over here to see their exact movement, which can be a little bit frustrating. So it's something you need to keep in mind. You have the Stargate, look at that. Completely hidden. That is actually quite beautiful. That is very beautiful. Now here, once again, I wouldn't mind the Void Ray opener. I don't know if Classic is going to send this thing all the way back, or Dark is going to send this thing all the way back home, or what the plans are. Like, what's the deal here, boy? I don't know. Adept's going to make its way across the map. Let's see how Dark will respond. Pushes the Queen a little bit forward. And this is what I'm talking about. Barely in that dead spot. Drones just can't have walked by. This is a highly illegal play. What Dark just did there is absolutely not allowed. Just walking these two drones past. Had that Adept walked a little bit faster, could have definitely gotten a drone kill. But this is really Dark in a nutshell, you know? He does a lot of minor crimes, you know? Nothing big enough to land him in jail, but just stuff where, you know, you get a police officer that isn't having the greatest day, then you're gonna get a fat fine. And so far, Classic hasn't been handing out those fines, though. Not yet. So what was this? This was 9 seconds ago. 42 out of 60? Okay, it's gonna kill 2 drones, which is fine. This will finish at... Hey, he's too late. He's actually just too late. He's just consistently too late with this Queen. Look at that. This is what I was talking about in game 1. This is a glaring error in his defense. Look at this. This is theoretically game over. But a mistake. I mean, once again, just one of these little, one of these freedoms that Dark he tries to take. He's like, I can do this. I can get a couple more drones up before I start that Queen. I can get a little bit more money. And sometimes you can get a little bit more money. Sometimes you gotta pay the price afterwards, and that's what happened here. Once again, a fleet beacon. Classic on a one-track mind here. Single Stargate for now. It's not adding in a second one. And if you want a second one, you probably should have added it a little while ago. Nope, he is not gonna add it a little while ago. He's gonna add it now. Okay. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm absolutely not hating this. Because I want to see that build in action against someone that doesn't rush the lair necessarily. Because last game really was a lair rush. We shouldn't forget that. Despite that Queen walk, that lair was insanely fast. I think we're going to see a pretty quick one once more. Maybe at the 5 minute mark it will start. Ooh, it's an Evo chamber. Single gas. I mean, we're still going to start a lair, right? This is a really late Evo chamber. I guess he has to because he lost like 9 workers. So if his plan is to play melee upgrades, which I think it is because we see the Baneling Nest. Oh my god. This is wild. The Dark just... He makes it up as he goes. Holy crap. Oh, he's making it up real well. 20 more links on the way. Please don't finish this. Not gonna finish it. Thank God. One of the ways in which your Tempest might not be capable of dealing the damage that you want them to deal is by having a link flood actually, you know, force Tempest to stay at home. That would be god-awful. We have this upgrade machine, this evolution chamber. We're not seeing it being used right now. Another Zealot warp in. Stalkers come home. Oracles are here. Tempest, okay. That's the first Tempest. Now, compare this situation to last game, where when the first, 2-3 Tempest arrived, we only had about 30-40 seconds left. Right now, Lair hasn't even started yet. That is an entire minute. Then we're going to need to start a Spire. That is it 79 seconds on the Spire? I think so. And then you still need to get the Corruptors out, which I don't even know how long Corruptors take, but I want to say in like 26 or 28 seconds. Like a pretty long time. So we're still 2.5 minutes away from these Tempests having a counter, and thus Dark does the only thing what he thinks he can do, and that's going for a counter attack, except Classic is pretty ready for it. He has the double Oracles, he's building batteries, he has quite a few ground units here as well. These Tempests, they're not being correctly microed, now they are. He was busy trying to defend. As long as he doesn't lose these workers, he's going to have so much freaking time on his hands. One Tempest now actually falling surprisingly low. 13 workers have gone down as well on the side of Classic. Classic is kind of fumbling this a little bit. All he needs to do is score in this open goal. Because this goal is very open. Like right now, Still gonna get expired. 71 seconds, not 79. My apologies. I mean, we're still a minute and a half away. So the queens have now died. There are 2 queens remaining. Yeah, it's GG. Absolutely. Absolutely GG. Low worker count here already. This is the correct call. I do want to check one thing real fast to see how the spores were used. I guess this spore could have been pushed forward. So one way to win some time is to just continuously build new spores and push them in forward. And then in combination with queens, maybe you can win like 10, 15 more seconds or so. But yeah, that wouldn't have been enough. Look at that. You're still a minute and a half away at this point. You're even in workers. There's no queens remaining. Good stuff. So one thing that I actually believe is being underestimated often is the power of repeating a build in the first 2 games. And especially if you win the second game, it is very scary for Dark in this particular instance to open up with a fast Evo chamber again, right? Yes, Dark took massive losses in that last game against the first Oracle, which was very bad. But even if that Evo chamber is faster, he still needs to deal with the Tempest with just building queens and using spores, which sucks. So I kind of like this for Classic. Because Classic right now could say, hey, I think the likelihood of there being a melee upgrade at Zerg is pretty low. I could go for a very heavy, for example, a Stalker push. And I'll be facing Roaches, most likely. And Roaches, not that good against heavy Stalker pushes. You really want to have +1 melee, ideally, against that type of play. Gotta see the Stargate once again in these kind of, yeah, these offbeat locations. Very interesting. I like the way he's playing that, though. I really do like the way he's building. I like the SimCity. Absolutely. Once again, also, with just single pylon here. There's a little bit of risk involved there, but nothing Classic can't handle. Dark's gonna start. He's pretty late on that speed, huh? He's playing quite greedy, Dark. He's playing quite greedy all around. Like delaying speed for a little bit of extra money. Starts the next Overlord already. So this is when we would expect the Queen to come out now. This is the timing, right? Puff. 3 minutes or so into the game, we're gonna get that Queen. What we see Dark do here, oh, it's actually kind of gets that Queen now. Does it in a weird way, though. Just waits a little bit. Here he waited for no reason. But I think he's definitely changing it up from last game, because it's going to be at least a little bit faster. Not sure if it's going to be in time, because we're still 20 seconds away. It's going to finish at, 43 should be fine, actually. Should barely be decent enough. There's no speed. This is still not going to be done for 30 seconds. He just takes these little risks, you know? I freaking love Dark for it. It's just entertaining to watch him. And the funny thing is that the Dark is really good at making comebacks as well. So he'll play these bad positions and he'll play them phenomenally. Gonna have a second Oracle popping out, 2 more gases. These are fast gases 3 and 4. Of course, the reason for that is because we delayed our second gateway. And when I say delayed, is we just haven't built it quite yet. So that allows you to get faster gases. What is Classic going to follow this up with? We have 2 Oracles, going to be a 3rd Oracle. If this is Tempest from here on out, I'm going to be flabbergasted. Absolutely. Shocked. See if these Oracles can do anything. There's 4 Queens in position at this base. Well, when I say in position, they're at this base. They weren't in position because we're going to get 3 kills. Ah, oh, fat scout here. Dark clears the Stalker and gets in. Really painful. That's going to pretty much ruin the mind game. Still see a fast layer now coming out of Dark, which is not entirely what I had expected. I think with a scout like this, personally, I wouldn't mind still seeing a relatively late Evo chamber at 430, going for those +1 melee upgrades. Look, you just want to have a lot of links against this type of stuff. If you want to have a lot of links, you want to get the upgrades on them. This is a mistake. This was a forgotten cancel. Absolutely guaranteed. Forgotten cancel out of Classic. 2 Oracles now into the natural. They're already a little bit damaged though, which is frustrating, of course. But only with a single Queen there. I think he could have achieved more had he waited for his 3rd Oracle before he made that move. What are you going to see from here, buddy? Classic is just such an interesting operator. Like, he really does his own crap. I mean, this is going into something standard, but it makes it scary to play against. This gonna be Swarm Host? No. This is bait, surely. This is Swarm Host bait. I've been baited by Swarm Host before. You know, you see the fast infestation pit and you're going over the options in your head. It's like, is it gonna be infested? Like, nah. It's gonna be Swarm Host. Yeah. Oh, this is a neat move, actually. Bait still screens out to the fort base to try and force him to defend, and then goes in. Gets a couple of kills. Bad micro, though, on the oracles. Having one lower HP oracle always is a little bit of a liability. I feel like you could stay longer if you just go in with the 2 healthy ones. You don't need the 3rd one to one-shot anyway, so why not, you know? Why not? Can have a nice... It's actually Swarm Host, holy crap. This has been the series of the underused units. Tempest rushes into Swarm Host rushes now. Gonna get a Templar Archives out. We see some map control being gathered here for Classic as he moves on to the map with these Stalkers, with these Oracles. And the way you want to play this as the Swarm Host man is to get a Nidus out. If you can get a Nidus out, you're in a banging spot. If you can't get a Nidus out, you're in a lot of things, not a banging spot. Even with this, by the way, I would have liked to see +1 on those links. I think it would have been very helpful to deal with this type of stuff. Very, very helpful. Swarm Host count currently is 5, 2 more on the way, so it's gonna go up to 7. That's not a whole lot. These are a lot of Stalkers as well. Actually putting on some serious pressure. Nidus comes out. First Nidus is going to finish. Uncontested. Absolutely uncontested. As Dark right now is like, oh, this looks good. There's so many units. Do I just win? Sorry, Classic. Come on. This looks banging. He's gonna get the counter attack, Dark that is. Gonna lose his own fort base. Could kill a natural. And I don't think he's gonna die. He's just gonna lose a fort, which usually would be dying. But here, we're kind of base trading, but not really trading bases. Well, maybe you can still get this Nexus. Can you? No +1 missile attacks quite yet. It's going to barely die, I think. Yep, there we go. At the same time, drones being pulled off the line. So we have 61 workers to 56. Basically equal worker count right now. A couple more falling on the side of Dark. That is bad. A lot of them falling on the side of Dark. Is going to help him survive here, though, if he does end up surviving. Is there cash for Classic behind all of this to build a new Nexus? That is, of course, also a good question. Still have those Swarm Hosts somewhere active. I'd love to see another wave of Swarm Hosts coming in towards the fort base right now. This is an absolutely wild game. And I'm not actually sure who I'm favoring at this point. I don't actually know who I'm favoring. I'd say Classic is winning. But if you take out one more base here with the Swarm Host at any point, you're actually in a pretty decent spot. This is a very nice trade for Classic, by the way. It's going to force out a minor Swarm Host wave. No, the whole Swarm Host wave. So that means that Classic is going to be safe for at least a little bit more time. 122 supply to 116. As his Nexus is rebuilding. Drones have to be rebuilt here as well. We're still only on, I think, 7. No, now 6 Swarm Hosts. Okay, I'm actually having a very difficult time seeing how Dark is going to do that. That fight in the middle was extremely bad for him. He needs to be more sneaky. He needs to be more like Agent 47. Maybe, you know, hide in a broom closet for a little bit. And like a locker. And then once you see Classic walk by with his main armor, you pop out of the locker, pew, snipe a base, and you piss back off into the locker. Good job, Agent 47. Hey, that's the vibe we need to get. He's still on 3 bases. Hey, Classic has to do nothing. And I don't mean he needs to sit back and do nothing. What I mean is he needs to keep control of the map. Patrol right side, patrol left side. And then have his army positioned in the middle. Keep track of where the Ravager Roach is going. This is what you need to be doing. We're going to get another Oracle, which I think is the correct call. I actually believe that Classic has been a little bit slow at patrolling the left side. Yeah, it's now going to spot this. It's a big deal. It's just a very big deal. Yep, it's going to take this out because I don't see a way for Dark to get across. And that could, would, and should be an issue. We have 3 Infestors now on the way. So we're going to play Infestor, Roach, Swarm Host, which out of all the unit compositions you could have gone for is probably one of the worst ones. But it's interesting to see how it's going to work out. Okay, I do believe that Classic will know it will come from the left side. He saw this. Or at least I think he saw this. It's gonna deal no damage at all. Usually Swarmos, they kind of work in like a 1-2 punch type of combination. So either the roaches go in first and they try to deal damage, or the Swarmos go in first and they try to deal damage. And then whichever side is not dealing damage, you know, that hopefully the toss is over defending there. So the Swarmhost wave comes in, toss pulls 30 stalkers into position, and then the roaches run to the natural. This is a very classic type of Swarmhost maneuvering. At this point, it's hard to imagine a winning fight for the Zerg player. We have better upgrades for toss. We have a brilliant army as well. These are just fat freaking biles, though. Classic needs to be a little bit careful at least. It's gonna warp in some more stalkers. As the next Swarmhost wave is gonna come in, that's 6 Swarmhosts. Could they take out a base by themselves? With a super battery, I'm not so sure. At the same time, a couple of storms are blanketing this army. I'd love to see some stasis work. Yep, there we go. Can we get a fungal on this? No, we can't. At the same time though, 11 workers did just die. This base is going to survive, at least for now. Big fungal once again hit. Bile's not quite connecting as only a single storm remaining. And this has been an okay fight for Dark. He does still need to clean this army up. If he gets to clean up this army, he's actually in a fine spot because he still has the Swarmos on the other side of the map as well. If he gets to keep his forward base alive, that would be especially huge. These units are about to come out of their frozen state. Spend some time with Walt Disney. Now they wake up and they say, oh, hello my dear friends. Still stalkers around. Guess I didn't sleep for that long. +3 finishes up after this fight. And now the Swarmhost wave can come in and clear this base. At least that's what I think is going to happen. Absolutely phenomenal hold here. Out of Dark. Classic with a serious overestimation of his army. And I think this base is... Is it gone, actually? I think it is. +2 range weapons putting out a lot of damage here. So, 3 base versus 3 base. Dark with an army that can trade is adding in 5 more Swarmhosts, which I don't love, especially given the fact that he has a hive right now, given the fact that he can throw down a Lurker then. I think that is where our money should be going. There's actually only crap units on the side of Classic. Let's not forget about that. He has 20 Stalkers and 2 Immortals. He has no Storms. Good luck fighting 4 Lurkers with Seismic Spines. Like, it's just not gonna happen, you know? You don't have the setup for it. 7 more Swarmhosts means that Dark is really committing to this play with the Swarmhost and then needs to deal a lot more damage. But with a Roach, Ravager, Hydra, Swarmhost army, I'm not sure if you're going to be dealing a whole lot more damage. Walks into his own biles as well, which is actually quite sloppy. This is not a big enough army. I think Classic can turn around and fight this. He has Storms, right? He almost has them. Soon we'll have him. Yeah, this wave doesn't do anything. 5 more Swarmhost. It's gonna go to 21. This is not it. This is not it in my mind. We need an Overseer on the left side. We need to clear that fort. It's vital to the survival chance of Dark. Dark still could throw down a Lurker then at any point. There we go. It's gonna get it now. Rather late than never, but rather sooner than later. This Nidus is gonna get blasted. This is just... It's too transparent and it's too slow, the changes that Dark is making here, the rotations. Just not quick enough. Lurker then is over halfway done at this point. Still need to wait for Seismic Spines after as well though. And Dark just needs to do something with this Swarmhost army because he's built it. Like he's made this army, now he needs to deal with the consequences of making that army. The fact that his army is just going to consist of a lot of freaking Locusts. This is a brilliant little flank though, holy crap. Can these Locusts actually ever touch these Immortals? The answer is no. The flank was great, but the handling of this flank was even better by Classic, who with some good storms, some good movement, actually hardly loses anything. Stalkers on the right side are going to get taken out, or at least 2 of them will fall. Can blink back up. Nidus Network now comes down, or Nidus Worm comes down. Seismic Spine finally starts. But when I said that Lurkers would be great, there were 2 Immortals on the map. And there was a robotics facility, a second robotics facility just starting. At this point, we actually do have a pretty decent army. We have 8 Immortals. There are 8 High Templar already. And on top of that, you also have so much supply tied up in freaking Swarmos, which is kind of a useless unit. It really is. It is not great. Once the Templar count is above 4, and they all have a Storm, it doesn't really matter how many Swarm hosts you have. Unless you get a Locust flank, you're probably not going to be dealing any damage. And I think Classic is aware of that. He sends the Prism out as well. Don't forget, Dark is one bad fight away from losing everything. He has no eco behind this whatsoever. He has been trading pretty okay, of course, with the help of those Swarm hosts, but his maxed out army is also complete garbage. It is so freaking bad. So much supply in those Swarm hosts, a lot of supply still in Roaches and Ravagers. We hardly have any Lurkers. His forward base is now going to get cleared. Do we have a counterattack? Nope, we simply do not. There needs to be a flank here, and I think the flank actually needs to be with Locust. As long as this army gets to escape, I actually believe that Classic is in a great spot. He's going to send some Zealots in forward as well. Dark wants to go for a full-on base trade. Very interesting call. Not sure if that's a call that I like. Actually, I do like it. It is a call that I like, because it's the only way he's ever going to win. He's going to lose an Immortal at the start here. Classic, that is. Third base in serious trouble. Here comes the Locust wave. That is a big Locust wave. Where are you going to go, buddy? He's going to go into the fourth base, so he could potentially take out 2 bases at the same time. And if he clears all of those Zealots at home, he's going to once again take... Well, he's not really going to take an income lead, because he's lost 30 more workers. He's going to at least take this base out. We now have 1 base mining versus 1 base mining, or I guess 1.5, no, actually just half a base mining versus half a base mining. This is about to empty up as well. Still half the Nidus network, Nidus worm potential, a lot of Lurkers. We need more than just a lot of Lurkers. You need a crap ton of Lurkers. 9 isn't enough. You're going to need 12, 15, 18, 22. You're going to need high Lurker counts in good positions in order to beat such a fat Immortal force. The only thing Dark can do here is build Lurkers, sit back, relax, try to take a forward base. And then the moment he sees a move out, try to go in, yeah, with a Nidus network. Little Nidus worm, and in my mind, Classic should be preparing for a right side Nidus. He has okay vision on the left, not great. But right now, Dark for sure knows that he can deal some damage in the natural. So this is what you're kind of anticipating, right? This is what you're trying to go for. This is just 4. This is the scout. These are scouting. Scouting boys, huh? Absolutely scouting boys. See how well Classic can deal with this. He's going to move in position. This is so far away as well. They basically ran out of time once they land. Yeah. Dark too afraid to get very, get really up close with these Locusts. Of course, it's still a free trade pretty much. I mean, loses the Nidus worm, but I think he probably still ended up killing more. Fourth base is about to finish up as well, but so did the 2 extra bases that Classic built. They have finished up right now. Classic still is up in workers. We're going to get a Stargate, and I want to say finally, because I think Tempest, Carriers, swift ending to this game here. There is no anti-air whatsoever to speak of. We have 2 Queens and 10 Hydras. That is not enough. I think Tempest, personally, are the correct call here. And I love this move out of Classic as well. I think this is just a correct move. He's definitely, going in the right direction with things here. This is too many Lurkers to attack into. You just kind of want to shave off creep tumors on the edge of creep. This is not it. This is absolutely not it. Yeah, you're going to need to wait for Tempest. Guaranteed. +1 you could get, or just 3, 4 Tempest. As long as Swarm hosts are not doing much behind you, I think you should be in an okay spot then. Yeah, this army is still generally garbage. You have these 2 Extractors that are not doing much of anything. 3 more Lurkers on the way. And Nidus as well being spotted here. Swarm hosts are... I'm not sure if they're out of position, but they're not in the position where they want to be right now. They are in a very, very scary spot. Yeah, it's going to need to send a couple of these Locust waves. It's going to kill a bunch of Stalkers. At the same time, moves on forward with all of these Lurkers. That is a big move, because there's only a single Tempest out right now. If there were Hydras with this would be huge. This is actually the only timing that Dark could have hit. I thought that the Swarmers were out of position, but they were in the right position to pull the opponent out of position. Oh, we need freaking Hydras in here. We need these Hydras so bad, because you need to clear these Tempests. Tempests right now are just dealing damage for free. We're sending Swarm... Is a full base trade? Is there no Hydras maybe alive? It is 23, yeah. It's 23 Lurkers, 0 Hydras. Okay, well that explains a lot. Lurkers are now going back home, trying to hold this base. I don't think this is quite enough Lurkers. Now maybe you have enough Lurkers. 12 Lurkers have gone down on the side of Classic. Classic doesn't have a whole lot of money anymore. We can't really keep this forward base alive, though. Neither can Classic. If these Locals get microed, this base is absolutely dead. Guaranteed. Guaranteed it's gone. Tempest still shooting at stuff. Are taking out Lurkers slowly but surely. 6 have fallen already. Couple more will go down soon too. Oh, Classic not paying attention here. It's going to lose a bunch of supply. It's 112 against... Well, actually, it's 122 against 103. Needs to clear these Tempests before more come out, but... Yeah, if you're not clearing the Tempest production right now, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be Tempest against Hydras. And that is probably good for the Tempest. Especially because there's Storm as well to back it up. This base is gonna fall, I think. Oh, bad recall. Awful recall. Loses 2 Templar instantly. None of these Swarm hosts go down. I think... Actually, is this winning for anyone? This base just needs to stay alive and you're outmining your opponent like tenfold. Because there's legit 0 mining here for Dark. So maybe it wasn't even bad to lose like 2 Templar there. Maybe that's completely fine. And the Tempest count is an issue. The Tempest count is actually an issue. It's probably the biggest issue here. And I love that Classic continues building them. It's like, you know, 5 isn't enough, 4 isn't enough, 3 isn't enough. I want 6, 7. Probably wants 8 if he can get that out. It's going to add 1 more Immortal in. Nidus Worm as well. This isn't so useful here for Dark because he's just being outmined. Even if you kill everything here, it just doesn't do anything. This would be great in a game where you still have 2k minerals in the bank and you can start sending in links into the main base. But that is simply not the case. That is simply not the case at all. This position is looking mighty scary if you're Dark. He's gonna try to flank. No, he's base trading. I actually think he should give up these Lurkers at this point. Give up the Lurkers, give up that outside base, you kill this, and then all you need to do is win 1 fight. I mean, that is just simply going to be your best chance. Because this thing is gonna die, right? This is gone. Absolutely, it's gone. You right-click it, it's gone. There's no recall available. But of course, Classic is going to send portions of his army back. There's no way for these guys to escape, is there? There's no way for these guys to escape. That is an issue. That is actually a very serious issue. Hydras are not going to be escaping here, or are they? Because now the Lurkers are coming in. The cavalry is going to show up. It's going to probably show up in time as well. Stormers need to be taken out. Swarm host coming in too. If there's no storms, these Hydras... Could they take out the Tempest ever? 12 Hydras against 5 Tempest. I mean, Tempest are really bad, but that is pushing it even for them. One of them is now going to get targeted down. They've been isolated from the main army. At the same time, Swarm hosts are pushing back this portion of the force. Lurkers are going to burrow. Oh my god. Tempest are actually falling. There's only 3 remaining. We still have 9 Hydras. Swarm host wave is not quite going to connect. Not quite going to connect. And a couple of Swarm hosts here are going to end up going down. Can we get 1 more Tempest? It would be so nice. Wouldn't it be nice? And boy, it would be, as Lurkers are going to take out the, I think the last Templar that was. We only have 6 Lurkers remaining though. So I think at this point maybe the ground army is just big enough. And you don't even have to fight with just the ground army because you still have those Tempests. Blinks in 4, it's going to take out another Lurker pretty much for free. A couple of Hydras are going to fall as well. I think you can just break this. You should probably just try and break in this with... Yeah, with your entire force. I think there's no reason not to. It's gonna snipe that bad boy. Good control on the Stalkers. The Swarm host wave is gonna come in from the top here. Correct call is obviously to run away. And Classic will do just that. Classic actually had plenty of money for Nexai earlier, but now he has given up on that plan, and I think he's just warped in more stuff. Needs to be careful to not lose these Tempests, by the way. Yeah, GG gets golf. Great game here by honestly both players. Highly entertaining series. One of the better ones of the year. I wouldn't quite call it the series of the year, but it's pretty freaking close. Cool strategies, 2 Tempest rushes, then this Swarm host game that never ended. Which is going to be it for me today, my dear friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see all of you next time for a new video. Bye bye.